a lot of our rhetoric around pedophilia and stuff like that is truly capable of handling the disturbing possibility that maybe just maybe we love pedophilia as a concept. So much so that we are protecting it everywhere we go, and most of our attraction is pedophilic. Like, that is uncomfortable, and uncomfortable breeds separation. Like, you want to separate yourself from reality. And yeah. So, pedophilia. Let's start this video off strong, shall we? Pedophilia. What's the thing with that? Every day now it seems like some new YouTuber, some new celebrity, especially with these Epstein files whole scenario, that people are being called out for pedophilia all the time. And if you're wondering why that's the case, well, this is a new series on my channel where I will be re-clarifying, re-educating people on political topics, because a lot of today's society is stuck into patterns of thought which are, to put it nicely, fundamentally wrong. So yeah, why are people being called out for pedophilia all the time now? And people who don't understand, or understand surface level things, might point out that, oh, pedophilia is so common in these people because they're in positions of authority, and that makes their abuse easier to happen, easier to perpetuate, right? And while that's not wrong, because it's not wrong, let's go take a look at my handy what's this called, a whiteboard with tons of bullet points on the nature, the true nature, the fundamental nature of pedophilia in our current society. So we talked about pedophilia in positions of authority. Well, look here. Protected pedophiles in positions of authority is not even my first bullet point. It starts a little bit further up. Why do your family or other families around you protect pedophiles or creepy uncles? We all have had stories of creepy uncles, creepy older men that are protected by the familial structure that they exist within. Why is that? Put a bullet point in that. Put a thumbtack in that, whatever. Beneath familial structures, the protected pedophile in familial structures, we also have protected pedophiles in societal groups. So societal groups as in like cliques. To put it another way, it's societal boxes. For an example, things like jocks or nerds or whatever. That's what I mean by societal groups. Just boxes and groups of people that can be collected into one collective identity, right? And these pedophiles are protected in the same way that your uncle has, I don't know, his wife or his cousins protecting him from ridicule. Pedophiles also have protection in societal groups. Only then do we come to protect the pedophiles in positions of authority, like the president. Anyway, now that the baby's first metaphor, me talking about individuals so that you could understand where I'm coming from and what I'm talking about, now let's go a layer up. Now I'm going to be talking about patterns of behavior, and coming over here, I put familial structures for a reason, because familial structures are not individuals. I use an example of your creepy uncle so that you can understand where I'm coming from, but I am not talking about individuals. I am talking about the patterns that govern individual actions different. Anyway, familial structures fundamentally protect themselves. Members of that community, of that group of people that are as close as family, protect each other. And if the people being protected are pedophiles, then you do not fundamentally care about pedophilia. You got that? Familiar structures protect each other, and if those people that are protected happen to be pedophiles, then you do not care about pedophilia. One layer down. Societal groups, societal boxes, whatever. If you are part of a societal group and you protect people that happen to be pedophiles in that societal group, you cannot care about pedophilia. See where I'm going with this? One layer down. If the people that you put in positions of authority, whether that be, an older adult or the president of the United States, if you protect those people and those people happen to be pedophiles, you do not care about pedophilia. You see why I put caring here instead? Because a lot of people have a knee-jerk reaction to pedophilia, and the knee-jerk reaction is usually negative. But whenever you look a lot deeper into people's actions and people's patterns of behavior, you'll see that y'all don't actually truly care about pedophilia. Because in these 3 layers, call them parts of a cycle, whatever, people detect pedophiles in each of these 3 layers. So those people cannot fundamentally care about pedophilia. You get what I'm talking about? And I have this arrow here because for positions of authority, I mentioned older family members, right? Those older family members are in positions of authority, and they are protected twice. They are protected by being part of a familiar structure, and they're protected by being perceived authority. And protecting pedophiles in any way, shape, or form, and not isolating them from these communities, fundamentally care about pedophilia if you allow pedophilia anywhere in here. You understand what I'm talking about? People, like I've said before, have a knee-jerk reaction to pedophilia, but they don't actually wish to excise pedophilia from their familiar structures, societal groups, or authority. And so that knee-jerk reaction is useless. Oh, you had the ick because of pedophilia? Who cares if you're not actively trying to isolate these people from polite society? You would think that pedophilia is some demonized, some great threat that we're all fighting to uncover and we're all fighting to protect children from. But whenever you really look at it, that's not the case at all. And that goes on from the first section of this whiteboard down to the second section. And that is, pedophiles are not rare. They're not rare at all. In any way, shape, or form possible. They are quite literally everywhere. And pedophilia, as in the action, as in like touching children in inappropriate ways or soliciting stuff from minors, goes into pedophilia. But there are things called pedophilic attractions. I'm skipping the bullet point, but I'll go back to it. There are things called pedophilic attractions. And like I've put here, most attractions are pedophilic in nature. Just because those afflictions, those attractions are normalized, it does not mean that they are not inherently pedophilic. Right? For an example, I'm using people's desire and attraction to hairlessness, because all things being equal, humans grow body hair. And so not liking body hair in all ways, like in all things, like you want your partner to be completely hairless is weird. And inherently pedophilic. Now, I'm not calling you a pedophile, dear viewer. No, if the shoe does not fit, do not wear it. You can have attractions that are pedophilic in nature that do not make you a pedophile. I am just bringing your attention to something that you may gloss over in your day-to-day life, right? And that fact is, most attractions are pedophilic. Period. I'm not saying this sentence right here is not an attack on anybody. Do not wear a shoe that does not fit you. I am warning you once, I will not talk about it again. Do not wear a shoe that does not fit you. This sentence, most attractions are pedophilic in nature, is a true statement, period. This is not an attack. This is not I'm not pointing fingers at you. I am just saying what is a fact on our current society. Lots of things that have to do with our current system of attraction is pedophilic in nature. Younger girls are attracted to older guys. Why? Because it is pedophilic in nature. Why do older guys like younger women? Because it is pedophilic in nature. And since I mentioned before, positions of authority usually are pedophiles because of the control that they have over other people, especially those who do not have a developed frontal cortex, and so they're easily to control, and that is also pedophilic in nature. Because what are the most easy to control people on the planet? Children. So again, even control in a relationship is pedophilic in nature. Because I can almost hear people fighting against it because they have a very narrow view of what pedophilic means, and they see pedophilic as like touching children, but it is having anything to do with childlike. Where can I write this? Child like anything. To be attracted to anything childlike in nature. One, most people care more about theoretical action than getting rid of them in their totality. Right? Pedophiles, that is. There's an obsession with pedo finder content, the Chris Hansons of the world, that trend that took place a little while back on YouTube and TikTok that were finding pedophiles and shaming them. And while I'm not going to say that isn't good work or that isn't useful, people are more obsessed with these loud displays of finding pedophiles rather than truly excising pedophilia from our societal's culture. Because again, most attraction is pedophilic. So why are we not trying to, take a fine-tooth comb to our own attractions, finding what is due to controlling the childlike, what is due to being attracted to things that are in some way childlike? Why are we not taking a fine-tooth comb to our own attractions and the attractions that are normalized in this society and making sure that they are safe for the children that we are charged to usher on to adulthood? Why are we as a society more obsessed with Chris Hansen and going after a pedophile from the annals of Wisconsin rather than the pedophile in the White House right now? Why are we more focused as a society on big displays of pedophilic takedown and feel good theater, but not excising pedophilia from our family structures, from truly isolating ourselves from that creepy uncle, from that that sports bro, that gym bro? Why are we not focused more on getting rid of pedophilia in our own everyday lives than we are getting rid of pedophiles on the great internet? You know, why are we more focused on a very, I don't know if vapid is the right word, but it's unsubstantial, going after the Chris Hansen types, these pedophile finder type content trends don't really do anything to address the main problems, and that is protection, right? I put protection, ignore everything else here. I put protection as the first word in each of these bullet points for a reason, because that is the fundamental problem with our society, is that it's not the fact that these pedophiles exist. They're going to exist regardless. Why then are they protected? That doesn't make any sense. So, we are so focused on the big ticket, the big spectacle things, the Chris Hansen, the pedofinder, that we are neglecting everything else. And that's a problem. A lot of our rhetoric around pedophilia and stuff like that is truly capable of handling the disturbing possibility that maybe just maybe we love pedophilia as a concept. So much so that we are protecting it everywhere we go, and most of our attraction is pedophilic. Like, that is uncomfortable, and uncomfortable breeds separation. Like, you want to separate yourself from reality. And yeah, I set this here as this last bullet point. You ate in a bed. I don't know if that's how you spell a bed. Excuse me. You ate in a bed more than you uproot. Y'all would rather go on the internet and look at Chris Hansen for an hour and a half talking about capturing a pedophile than you are at really changing the way that our society functions around liking childlike qualities in general. So, so my final point, which is, pretty reactionary. Again, this whole video is going to get a rise out of people, but this last line that I wrote here, be for real. You love pedophilia, actually. Because if you didn't love it, why would it still exist in your day-to-day life? You must love it, because you haven't separated yourself from pedophilia as a grand concept more than just knee-jerk, that pedophile on the internet. And yeah, if you're mad, please dislike the video. If you're mad, dislike the video. If you wore a shoe that does not fit you, well then, too bad for you. If you do like the video and you do like this deep dive onto an aspect of our society that is normalized and not really truly understood in an intellectual way, I hope you enjoy. Those who did enjoy, I hope you liked and appreciated this new type of video that I'm making with the whiteboard. I think the whiteboard to anchor my thoughts is going to be a really good idea going forward. And most of the videos based upon re-education and re-clarification in this series are going to be done on a whiteboard, because I love whiteboards. You can see everything. I can make notes and annotations on it. I think it's a good idea. Anyway, I have been rambling this in section for too long. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you next week. Oh, I am sorry for taking 2-3 weeks off. I was moving, I was depressed, whatever. Happy Epstein list release day, everybody. See you later. Overtired teenager out.